Right guys, apologies. This driver issue that I've got has cropped its ugly head again, and the PC just rebooted itself. It's definitely a conflict in audio drivers, and I have to make sure that this NVIDIA one is disabled, and because I downloaded it with the last what do you call it, the last NVIDIA graphics card update, and I downloaded it and I didn't realise it, and since then I've been having this conflict where it's been just powering down the PC. Anyway, I did a lot of investigating. It's nothing to do with anything overheating. It's definitely a graphics driver problem. So I've got it disabled, and I'm with my not a graphics driver problem. It's an audio driver issue, and it's never happened before. It's only happened with this recent update, and it's conflicting with my Realtek's sound driver. So I've got the NVIDIA ones disabled, and I'm going with the Realtek one, and it should be okay, because I've been playing Red Dead Redemption for the last week, and as long as I've got that driver disabled, I'm fine. And it's just, that's the first time it's just happened here. Anyway, put it this way, if it happens again, I'm going to have to just pull the plug. But hopefully, here's hoping it's okay. And the match, Tommy the Welder, is back to still in a 2-rack lead here, 5 racks to 3 in this first round match. And well, Houdini, I don't think he's getting any use of that handicap yet. He's still got that 6 ball as his extra money ball. Oh, hold on a sec, need to do something. Be back in a second, guys. I need to do something else, hold on. Right. Well, I've got my fingers crossed that I've done everything right, and we're going to last the pace. As I say, if I go again, I'm just gonna scrub it. It happened 2 weeks ago when I didn't know what the problem was, and since I did the investigating, I found out that was the issue. And if I keep forgetting to disable that thing, and I've disabled it, I don't know whether NVIDIA's doing updates or whatever, and then that just triggers it back on, but I've definitely got it disabled. And the worst thing that I tried to do the other day was to try and delete the NVIDIA GeForce Experience off my PC, and it is so difficult to get rid of. It wouldn't uninstall completely, and I was googling that as well, and there's lots of people been having problems and conflicts with the NVIDIA GeForce Experience. I mean, it's a handy program because it configures your game according to the specs of your PC so that a game will run correctly or give you the best performance, but I think it's conflicting with a lot of other hardware in your PC, and it's certainly doing it with me, and it's only just done it recently. And it's a nightmare, and it's frustrating, and you panic and you think there's disasters happening with the PC, but I did the checks and looked at the errors in the event log, and it's not overheating. I know that. It's not a heat sink problem or anything like that. There's no errors. to lead you to believe it's that. The error I was getting, and looking at some of the information that I found, it was driver conflicts that can cause the issue. And when I tested it the first time after telling us about conflicting audio drivers and stuff, and then I looked and I saw that there was 2 audio drivers enabled, and one of them was that NVIDIA one and the other one was my default one. Right, let's try and concentrate in the pool here. It's now 5 racks to 4 to Tommy the Welder. This match could still go either way if Houdini can get to this 6 ball. And this shot in the 4, that's asking a lot to try and squeeze that past that 5. Now you might have got lucky here. Oh dear. Well, Tommy the Welder's made the mistake, and it was the obvious one. He was trying to play the little gentle shot to snooker behind the 5, and he's brushed into the 5 and scratched. Now Houdini needs to get up the table a wee bit here. He's a bit straight in this 5. Well, he's managed to get the little stunt, and all of a sudden it's going to be 5 racks all. In goes the 6. And this time he's got the use of the extra money ball. And that was completely down to Tommy the Welder's mistake there. And he's paid the heavy price. And Houdini has got the 2 ball in the break. He's got a shot in the 1. Goodness me, what was he thinking there? Again, we talk about thinking about what you're doing. You know, he's left himself absolutely no shot on the 4. And I think this time Houdini's got lucky. He played no positional shot to get in the 4 there. He's got the second prize though. And how's Tommy the Welder's luck? Well, he's left not quite a straight in pot, but that isn't the problem for Houdini. It's getting onto this 5 ball. Cue ball's going entirely the opposite direction from where the 5 is, and he's trying to draw onto the rail and just drawing it straight into the pocket. Oh, and there's a few results just popped up there. Quack has beaten Snakes 7 racks to 4. CTP has beaten Seni 7 racks to 1. And Miasma has beaten Nomus Alpha 7 racks to 2. So that's a little clump of results. So I might have missed other results when I get booted there. But this might be one of the slower matches to come through. Let's just have a look and see what we've got here on the bracket. Just update that. Well, that's a second round match about to start. Keki's use, I think, had a bye, did he? Yes, he did. And Larry is 6 racks to 5 up against John Boo. So again, that handicap is making it a very tight match. And another result, Spectre Dawn has beaten Magic 1 7 racks to 3. I think the last time that I managed to stream this, I think Larry and Spectre Dawn were the two favourites in that tournament, and I think they're the two favourites again tonight. They're going to be giving away the biggest handicap when they play most players, apart from playing each other. Well, this match is poised 5 racks all. And Houdini. Oh dear, and another scratch. Again, that's just careless. Not from the point of view he missed the 9, but not controlling that cue ball. And he's gifted this rack to Tommy the Welder. That is an absolute gift on a plate. And Tommy the Welder now leads by 6 racks to 5 with the break. I think the 5 ball has gone in on the top left. He's got a shot in the one into the left middle. But the cue ball is going to have to travel up the table between that 8 and 7 and back down the table here to get a shot in the 2. He's got plenty of room in the left hand side of the table to get there, but he's played it and came the wrong side there in towards the cluster of balls. It would have been much easier to play that with a bit of left hand English just to punch it off the rail. If you play it with a wee bit of left hand English, that ball was potted in there. If you go off the end rail with a bit of inside English, inside left, the cue ball's going to go that way and come down, and you avoid all of this traffic that was over that side of the table. And this is why a lot of players don't think, when you start relying on a bit of luck when you're playing these games, very often it's never going to come to you. Now Larry has won his first round match, 7 racks to 5. But as I say, Tommy the Welder there, you've got to be able to see where the problems are. He took a big risk and he was only ever going to run into those cluster of balls. But Houdini's at the table and he's got a chance to take this match into a final rack decider. He's only got the 4 and a little stun across. Now he looks as if he's drawn here. Well, he's going to be playing it at distance. But just a roll in on this 6. Nothing fancy. Just get it lined up and roll it in. And it wiped his feet, but it's gone in. So we're going to the final rack. And Houdini with the break at 6 racks all. Oh, and the 9 ball and a couple other balls I think have gone. 9 ball will get respotted. And we've also lost the 3 and the 7. It was a very thin cut back in the 1. And he's lucky he didn't scratch, but Tommy the Welder has got a chance. It's going to be a none too easy 2 ball, and that cue ball needed a lot more pace on it to go over there somewhere to leave a better potting angle than the 2. Is it the reverse bank past the 4 and 5 in the top left hand corner, or is it the cut? It's neither. He's looking for the safety, and that will do. Easy enough to get to the 2 ball with the jump stick, but I don't think there's an awful lot on for him. It looks to be, well, it's not going past the 5, so that's there as a safety net for Tommy the Welder. Well, Houdini's played the jump. And again, the 6 ball this time has come to Houdini's rescue. Another great escape. Well, Tommy the Welder has tried to marry the cue ball to the 6, and he's way short, and in fact he's not even covered the 2. Houdini's got an easy safety here if he spins off that rail behind the 5. But once again, that is just far too hard to be trying to get a decent safety. I don't know what he tried there. I'm at a loss to think whether he played some sort of bank or whatever, but either way it just ended up in an ugly mess. Now that needs a nice kiss, and he hasn't got it. Kissed it full in the face. Well, now I always hark back to times like this where you get that ball close to the rail and you start tip-tapping against it. You've always got to try and somehow find distance. But Houdini went for the kick bank. He's missed it. He's left the 4 hanging. Now this is going to be awkward. Got the cue ball out. And the 5 clearly goes into that corner pocket. But it's another one of these all or nothing shots, because now the pressure's on Tommy the Welder. Remember that Houdini just needs that 6 ball. And Tommy the Welder has played the shot, and this time he's played it perfect. He's got a little angle off that 6 where he can come back and over to the left. He needs to get a little punch into it. Well, he's trying to drop back. Well, that's not bad. That will do. Could have went back or over to the left. Over on the left hand side gives you a wee bit more room. A 9 ball right in the middle of the table at the top end. And that is pretty good. So this for the match. And so Tommy the Welder is through to round 2, and Houdini moves over to the 1 loss side. So that is a few results through. So let's see where we've got to. I think we've got all the second round matches underway now, pretty much so. Larry is now about to play Tommy the Welder, and again Larry will be given a hefty handicap. Miasma is getting 6 and out against Spectre Dawn, but Spectre Dawn is already 2 racks to 0 up. Keki's use 2-1 up against Quack, and Senny is, in fact that was a second round match. What's happened here? 7-1 it was. Well, you know what I say when you get. I'm going to come in and watch that match. If I can find it. Where the hell is it? It's the golden rule when you're getting a 6 and out. You have to play with common sense, and it's now 3-0. Now let's see if Miasma can get anything in this match. So he's at the table. Shot on the 3. No problem getting on the 4 because a natural angle off that side rail comes over to the left. this is going to be the problem one, because there's blocking balls there on the left hand side of that 6, and it's not easy to get good position on it. But if you can't get good on it, get it safe. And that little kiss in the 9 has helped out not too bad. And all he needs is a 6 ball. And Miasma is on the board. It's all about focus when you have your chance. And that was still a good little run out there for Miasma. It gets him off the mark. And the 4 ball on the break. 1 ball goes safe to the rail. And look at that 8 ball over the left hand side of the table, because that is the danger ball for Spectre Dawn. And Miasma needs to be fully aware of that situation there. Anything that brushes onto that 8 ball is going to knock it in. And Spectre Dawn likewise. Now Spectre Dawn will be fully aware of that. Make no bones about that. He definitely will know that there's a problem with that 8 ball sitting there. Well, Miasma went for a slam onto the 1. It's double kissed off the 1. Come right across, knocked the 8 in, and the amount of power that was on the cue ball just had to follow the 8 in. And it says there's a right time and a wrong time to place shots onto that 8 ball. That wasn't exactly it, shall we say. And it's given Spectre Dawn a chance to run out. And it's going to need a good little shot off this 3 to get down the table here to the 5. Oh, he's brushed into the 6. And he's still got a thin cut in the 5. Excuse me. That's a good shot. Well, he's ended up in no man's land here with this 6 ball. He could reverse bank it into the middle. It's an extremely thin cut into this bottom corner, so he's decided just to play the safety. Now, the cross bank in the 6, sometimes it's an all or nothing shot, but that looks pretty good to me, the cross bank in the 6, over into either this middle or back across. He's got enough room to play it, but it's a thin cut with a lot of power if he's going to try and get it into that top corner pocket. Well, he's got lucky, shall we say, but this time Spectre Dawn will be going for the bank, and in it goes. And so Spectre Dawn gets back his 3-rack lead. It's now 4 racks to 1. 2 ball goes in the break. And no shot in the 1. Blocked off by the 9 ball. Now, if Spectre Dawn plays safe down at the bottom end of the table, that leaves an easy safety for Miasma. And that's actually clever thinking there, because if he had pushed, a lot of players would just push down the table to here. And that would leave Miasma an easy safety behind the 9 and the 7 that were sitting there. We're just pushing the ball forward and blocking him off. So there was method in the thought there for Spectre Dawn, but having said that, Miasma's pulled off a good shot in the one. Oh no, he hasn't got the cut. Got to slow down and just have a look at that potting angle. Result through in the one lost side. No Myself has beaten Magic 1, 4 racks to 1. Spectre Dawn gets the bank again. Now he has to find that gap between the 9 and the 7. And he has found it. Well, this is going to have to be gentle on this 5 ball. Just to cut it in and not let the cue ball escape. Plenty of room on the 6. This is why it's so tough for the lower rated players. You know, the Miasma's getting the 6 and out handicap, but it's been able to string enough balls together to get to that 6 ball. And in this case, in this rack, the 6 ball's gone anyway. But when you're playing someone in the high 2,200s, it's safe to say that they're usually pretty good at finding a way to run out. Well, Spectre Dawn didn't have a shot on the 8, and Miasma has got his chance to reduce the deficit here. And a fairly simple shot in the 8 has given him a rack back. We're into rack number 7, and Miasma's had a ball in the break. We've lost the 5 ball and a shot in the 1. Now if he can get anywhere over on the right, well, he spun that and killed the pace in the cue ball and left himself with an extremely difficult cut. Spectre Dawn again might be playing the reverse bank, because if he tries to cut this, the cue ball's going entirely the opposite direction of the 3. It's a very difficult shot. And he's played that with lots of English to hold it, and that has worked out perfect. That was an excellent shot, just to hold that cue ball and stop it escaping. Oh dear, well, the mistake has been made. Now Miasma has ball in hand, just has to pot the 4 and then the 6, and it looks all too easy to get back within 1 rack here. Well, that was a bonus, an unexpected bonus, but it was an unforced error from Spectre Dawn. The scratch into the middle pocket. Miasma trailing by 4 racks to 3, and the break is dry, and a shot in the 1, 2 ball hanging over the right hand corner, 3 ball to follow. Well, the slight problem could be the 6 ball. It's only because the 5 ball's down here at the bottom end of the table and the 6 is at the top end. And he's gone way too far on this 4. Again, he's left it extremely thin to cut this down the rail. He's got a wee margin of error because the 4 ball's well off the rail. And then it goes. Now this is the important one, is getting a shot in the 6 from where he is. And it's not a guaranteed certainty here. And that pace looks a bit too strong again. He's just gone behind the 6. But he'll have Miasma in trouble if he wants. Can bury Miasma in behind that 9 and 7 ball. But he could pay the price if he goes all out for this 6. I mean, this is where he's got to be really careful. But he's got the 6. He didn't hang back. And he's got a shot in the 7. I'm looking at Spectre Don's profile picture that's in the top of the HUD, trying to work out what the hell it is. Is it a pig? A pig with hair or something like that? I can't. Oh, he's missed a 9, and it's going to go safe, or pretty much safe. It's neither here nor there as to where this is going to go, but it is a chance to square the match here for Miasma. Well, he didn't give that any sort of chance there. I don't know whether he played a half-hearted bank or a half-hearted pot, but well, it's left either the bank. Well, I don't think he's doing anything else. It's got to surely be a bank from that angle. Is he going to try and cut it? Yeah, that was asking far too much. He actually tried to cut that. And this time, well, it's not a gimme. But Miasma really should be potting this. And they're all square now. And the 6 ball just drops in. And as long as that 2 ball stays out of the way, Miasma's got a shot in the 1. He's dead straight on it though. And the problem then is somehow trying to get this cue ball out of there. But again, you've got to just weigh the pros and cons. Take your medicine, pot the 1, and if you can't get good in the 2, at least play a good safety. Well, he's given himself a chance. He needs to dig into this to drag it. You see the cue ball's escaping. And he's missed a 2. But, well, it's covered by the 7, but Spectre Don will be jumping that. Now, this is fairly straight. He's going to try and have to just pinch that 2 a wee bit so the cue ball doesn't drop in behind the 2 and follow it into the pocket. And he's managed to do that. And these balls are all sitting ripe for the picking. If he can get good on this 4 ball, he should be home and dry. Just got the right pace in that. That's perfect pace to get on the 6 ball. That was well played. Yeah, up the table and get the right side of the 8 so he can drop down onto the 9. Well, that's not bad. He's a bit straight, but he can easily just play it in from that middle pocket. He's managed to stun it and pinch a wee bit. So Spectre Don has managed to rescue the situation. Had a 4-1 lead, I think it was, and he's got it back, and now he's 1 rack in front, and there's a result through from the 1 lost side. Houdini has beaten John Boo 4 racks to 0. And meanwhile, Spectre Don has broke off in rack number 10. And he's got the 6 in the break. He's got a difficult one to start on this one ball. Now, what does he do about the 3? Well, he can easily cheat that 3 in past the 8. Well, he's trying to draw in it to get behind it to play it from the short end. This is where he's got to be careful now, because it can go wrong here getting on this 4 ball. If he overhits it, he could be hooked behind the 9. If he underhits it, he's leaving a high cut on the 4, and he won't be able to hold for the 5. So let's see how he manages to get himself to deal with this 4 ball. And like I say, he's going to be able to pot the 4. Now, how does he hold for the 5 with the angle that he's got? If he actually comes off the rail and runs into the 9, it'd be handy. Well, he's missed the 9. So it's a high cut on the 5. Again, well controlled, the pace is good, a straight in 7 ball. And the only thing that can go wrong now is getting from the 8 onto the 9. And this looks like, well, it looks to me like a 2 rail or a 3 rail if he wants. 1, 2 and 3. And he's got a straight in 9 to take him to the hill. And that's the strength of these players. You've got to use your head and try and make it difficult for them. And use your handicap if you can. If you can't get a pot, get a good safe. If you can't get shape in the next ball, get a good safe. And if you can't get a snooker, get distance. If you use those thoughts when you're playing, then it will certainly help your game. You've always got to be thinking about what you're doing. Doesn't matter what game you're playing, and it doesn't matter what sport you're playing, but thinking about your next shot. They always say, you know, in professional snooker that a lot of professionals are thinking sometimes 3 and 4 shots ahead, and they've got a plan as to what they're doing, and that's how they are so good. Well, Miasma can't pot the 1, and he's played the bank on the 1. Oh, that's unlucky. The idea was good, but it's a chance though for Spectre Dawn to seal the deal here. The immediate problem is he's running into the 6, and it's going to need a fair bit of power to get away from the 6 and try and get the cue ball up the table. And how's his luck? Well, his luck is pretty good, I would say. He's got a nice little kiss on the 5, a gentle roll in on this 3 to try and just hold there for the 4. That might be a bit straight, but it shouldn't be a problem. He's just pinched again, pinching a little angle. You see, this is how players think. You can pinch that little angle to play the stun and make the angle to get to the 5. And a simple shot like that is sometimes, a lot of players don't even see that shot. He was fairly straight in on that, was it the 4 ball or whatever it was, but all he had to do was just pinch a little angle send that object ball into the side of the pocket and make the angle to be able to play the stun. And these are things that, you know, if players are learning and hoping to take their game to another level, these are the little type of things that you want to be picking up. Especially when you're watching. Well, Miasma's in deep trouble here. Now let's have a look. Is that 8 ball? No, it isn't. It's lined up to the rail. I thought he could have kicked the 6 here, but it isn't going to go. Well, he's going for it anyway, but... Or is he? I think this is just a hit and hope here, because I think he's going to find it very difficult to keep this 6 ball safe for Spectre Dawn. And he's went for the old heave-ho, the cross bank, and in goes the 6. And he's got another one back. It keeps him in the match. He has the break. I don't think anything's going down. Miasma's got to be thinking that the pressure is on Spectre Dawn. Look at this table. Spectre Dawn might be going all out for this 1 ball to get himself started. And it's simply because Spectre Dawn doesn't think Miasma can run the table. But that isn't the point. Miasma's now got ball in hand. He's got an easy starter in the 1. He's got an easy 2. Well, he just come back a wee bit too much in the 2. He used to just roll this in, not go behind the 5. Oh dear. And he was thinking about that and forgot about the 2. He's just getting himself a wee bit excited. But could that be his last shot? Because he's played right into Spectre Dawn's hand. And Spectre Dawn just dropped behind the 8 or draw back, sorry. Well, he's left himself way high in this 4. Now Miasma, get yourself ready here. You still might have a chance. And Spectre Dawn has gone straight on the 5. He has a bank past the 8, but it is tight. So he's probably looking to play safe, I would think. Try and get up in the top right hand corner of the table. And that looks to be pretty good. Now, a little bit of left and try and hit that 5 ball full in the face and punch it up the table. Not too hard though. And that cue ball may well stay up there. He's not trying to line up a thin cut, is he? Oh, that was some shot. Nice kiss in the 6. Nice kiss in the 6. Well, 10 out of 10 for that. That was a brilliant cut shot in that 5. And in goes the 6. And would you believe it? We're in a final right decider, folks. And there is no pressure on Miasma here. All the pressure is on Spectre Dawn. But that was some cut shot that he played on that 5 ball. Good evening. I'm glad you weren't here for the reboot of the PC earlier on. You missed that. But we've got a champion. Well, not a VP4 champion, but a champion as far as the rating goes. Under pressure here. And now he's getting mean and dirty. He has got Miasma hooked on the 1. Easy enough to get to the 1 though. How's his luck? How's his luck? Not too good. Well, it looks a messy table, but these balls are sitting pretty good. They've all got a pocket. The only awkward one is the 7 ball in the side rail, but Spectre Don just has to take his time. Now, from that angle, he's got to go behind the 8 and over to the right hand side. Get the cue ball somewhere up with the 5 ball, but he's played it with a lot of inside. Now again with this shot, he's totally the wrong side of the 4, so it's either 2 rails on the left hand side and out past the 9. Well, that's the more conventional shot there, but the first shot that he played wasn't conventional. Well, he wants to get fairly close to this side rail here with this cue ball. And this is just, he'll probably just leave the cue ball there. I don't think he'll do a lot with this. Just a little punch and out. Well, you would think anywhere in the table he's got to have a shot in the 9. Skirting with the middle pocket, but on the 9, and this for the match. Well, Miasma, at least you took him all the way. Spectre Don wins the match by 7 racks to 6. And he might not get a closer match than that in the whole of the tournament. Right, let's see how things are shaping up now. Well, Larry is now 4 racks all with Tommy the Welder. Tommy the Welder getting the 5 ball. Spectre Don is now going to play CTP. And CTP is getting 6 and out as well in that match. Keke's use. Well, let's dive into that one because I think that's 6 racks all. And where's the 8 ball going? Well, Quack has hung the 8 ball. Where the hell are these guys from? Keke's use from France and Quack from France. So 2 French guys. Well, this 9 ball. It's a bit of no man's land again. Into the middle. Looks the easiest option. And this is a scratch match, no handicap. Well, he's went for it long into the bottom left-hand corner, but he was the country mile away from the pocket. And now Quack should put this away. And in it goes. So Quack goes through to the next round. Keck is used through to the 1 loss side. So another result. Well, I think it's about time we saw how Larry's doing this week. Larry's now 5 racks to 4 up. And what the hell match is that? That's a 2nd round match against Tommy the Welder. Tommy the Welder getting the 5 ball. So he's not getting 5 and out. He's only getting the 5 ball as his extra money ball. And Tommy the Welder has played a good safety. Larry just looking to catch the edge of this 1 ball. I'd be hitting this with a bit of pace. The reason I'm saying that is if you play it gentle, you might miss the 1, and he's missed the 1. And he could have left a 1-9 combo on there, but he's lucky he completely missed it. That's why I suggested playing it with a bit of power so that you don't leave the cue ball and nudge the 1 and just set up a combo. And Tommy the Welder, with ball in hand, is looking to tie Larry up again here, I think. Again, the same problem for Tommy the Welder here. If he just brushes the 1, he can leave the 1 very adjacent to the 9, so he's going to punch the 1 up the table. And he's left it wide open though. He didn't want to be colliding with any of those balls. And Larry has a shot in the one, and it's going to have to be a dig and a stun off the left rail there to come across for a shot in the two. He needs to get the pace of this right though. Well, he's trying to come around, and well, it's worked out perfect, because that could have went entirely wrong. He's got a wee bit of luck brushing onto the 5, but the unfortunate thing for Larry is that he's now locked the 5 and the 6 up. And the other problem is the 3 balls at that end of the table, the 4 balls here, and the 5 and 6 are sat there. Now, is that a combo? Well, it isn't a combo. That's going to the rail, that 6 ball. So Larry's got his work cut out if he's going to run this table. And I need to get a quick drink if I can find my bottle of water. I think so far tonight I've had 2 viewers. I think everybody's away playing Red Dead Redemption 2. So I've completed the story mode in Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm now. I found what's his name, Arthur Morgan's grave this afternoon, and then I'm going to start doing the treasure hunts. See if I can find. I've already found 1 gold bar. I'm going to start doing the rest of the treasure hunts and complete all the little side missions and the quests that I didn't do. And that's a good safety. That's very tight to be trying to jump over that 7 bolt. But Yamaguchi Taru would jump that no problem. And Tommy has missed the kick on the 5, and Larry has got his reward for the good safety. Ball in hand, he's just thinking about where he wants to be in the 6 ball. So just a little roll through. May well end up playing this 7 ball into the right middle here. I think that's the plan. Just drop through off the 6. It looks a simple shot because the angle in the 6 that he's got would just let him just roll through for the 7 into that right middle pocket. He might be going all the way through. Oh dear, well, that wasn't exact. Even that position there, where the cue ball is, Larry's got that all wrong. I think he was in a bit. It looks as if Larry was in a bit of 2 minds here as to what he was going to do, and in the end, he was neither here nor there, and missed the 6. And it's given Tommy the Welder a good chance here, and that needs to keep running out. And that's sort of where Larry wanted to be on that 7 ball. Now, can Tommy the Welder take his chance? And he's just dragged the pace off the cue ball there. 8 ball off the rail. And he needs to just get a little draw off the rail and a stun across for the 9. Not too much that he's going to scratch. Oh dear. That was close. That was very close. But it is the unforced error from Larry that has cost him. And it's got the match back to all square. 5 racks all. Forgot to mention earlier on a reminder that it's race to 7, race to 4, but I forgot to mention it's a race to 9 in the final. And Tommy the Welder's broke off. He's got no joy. The balls are wide open, and I would reckon Larry should be back in the lead here unless he gets himself out of line. Well, that's not ended up perfect. He's got a high cut, and the cue ball is running around here. This is not what he wanted. He's got to come back up the table. I mean, there's no point in staying at the bottom end of the table here. He's got no shot on the 4 past the 9 ball, so he has to come down the table. He needs power to pot this 3. He's run into traffic, and now he has got a very thin cut, but it will go, and he's just going to be running around the table with the cue ball. Has got no idea where the cue ball's going to finish. He could run in off and scratch off the 9. He could billiard the 9 in. Anything can happen here. So he's playing a big deep draw to try and avoid the scratch, which he's managed to do. And he's still not out of the woods here, because look where the 6 ball is. 6 ball's tucked down here, going nowhere, blocked off by the 7. If he can get to here somewhere, he's got the combo onto the 8. He's still got to deal with the 5 though. Well, now he's... What does he do here? Oh. I mean, he could just play the little thin one and run for cover and get the cue ball down the bottom end here. That looks the safest option. He's looking at some sort of billiard shot here or combo, but I would just be running to the long grass down the bottom here. And sometimes you've just got to wind your neck in and try and get the good safety rather than going all out, which could lead to disaster. Well, I don't know what Larry was doing there, but it doesn't matter. He'll be quite happy. Look where the 6 ball's finished. Now, can he, Tommy, get this reverse bank onto the 8 ball? Oh, he's trying to tuck behind the 9. He hasn't got there with the cue ball, but he's got the second prize. He's left Larry no shot on the 6. And Larry's simply got to get lucky here and get this safe. Do you think he tried to carry him out? I think it was... I don't know why he had an easy safety. He still might get out of jail here, Larry, but... Larry's trying to make it as awkward as he can. But there's a little angle on this 6. And Tommy the Welder needs to go 100% on the 6. And run through off the top rail, side rail, and come back down into this bottom half of the table almost. So he can get the 7 ball into the right middle. That's the plan. He's got the angle there to do it. It needs to get pace though. It needs to keep running. How does that look? Well, that's not bad. But again, a little dig into the cue ball here. He doesn't want to be running into the 8 and scratching off it or doing anything stupid here. Well, that was almost something stupid. I wouldn't have played it like that, because that's a recipe for disaster, but it doesn't matter. You always have to play that little draggy draw shot just to skim the cue ball away from the 8 there. But it's Tommy the Welder on the 9 and on the hill. 6 racks to 5. So we saw Spectre Dawn been taken all the way in that last match. The 2 favourites for tonight's tournament again, Spectre Dawn and Larry. Now, can Tommy the Welder go to the next step and seal the deal and win the match? Well, he's certainly not going to do it from the break. It's come up dry. The 1 ball's gone safe. The 3 and the 5 ball, they're not locked up, but they're just awkward. And Larry running for cover. And I don't think he's quite got there. Let's have a look. No, he certainly hasn't, because Tommy can pot the 1. A shot in the 2. And then good luck to get good on the 3. That's what's going to happen here. Well, I think he's got an angle that he can come off the 2 and somehow get down there and have a shot in the 3 into the middle if he can get far enough. Well, that was never going to get going that direction. Now what does he do? Can he skim that 3 past the 5? No, he can't. He's going to run into the 5. He could have actually just played this sort of little force follow in behind the 5 and snooker Larry, but he can't do that. Well, I don't know why he played that. He's not even hit a rail, so it's ball in hand for Larry. And this is what I'm saying about players just sort of lost for ideas when it comes to putting the opponent in bother. It wasn't any good layout of balls to try and play a snooker, but the shot they ended up playing just opened it all up. And with no pace on it, he didn't even get a ball to a rail, so he's gifted Larry his chance. Well, no wonder Tommy's saying poor. It certainly was. But the job's still got to be done here to take this to the final rack. Got to punch the 7 in, get the cue ball out to the left hand side. Now, is he going to try and draw up the table? I think he is. He's going to punch it and draw it. Oh, he's trying to just kill it. How's that look? Well, again, the angle is nice. You can go top and through it and just leave the cut in the 9. So this is going to be our second main matches that we've seen that are going to go all the way to the final rack. And it's going to be Larry to break. And the tournament has now been on for about, what, an hour and 26 minutes or thereabouts. And the break gives Larry the 4 ball, I think, into the left middle. He's got the 1 ball into the top left hand corner. He's going to play a little combo. If he has to get the gap though. He's got to get the gap. And he's just found it. A little brush combo on the 2. Just a gentle one. And that'll drop the 7 in. Now, how does this 3 ball look? Well, he's awkward now because he's hanging over the 8. He's going to have to just let the cue ball run and hope he gets lucky here, because I don't think there's an awful lot he can do. Well, he's trying to draw into it and he's pushed it safe. The plan was good. The end result was unlucky. And Miasma, who took Spectre Dawn all the way but lost out in the final rack, he's won his next match in the 1 lost side against Snakes. He's won it by 4 racks to 2. So Miasma marches on. And meanwhile, Tommy has got the chance to get distance. And that is not a bad shot. Not bad at all. It's always better to have distance if you can't get the snooker. It just makes the incoming player's shot difficult, because to get a good touch on that 3, you've got to pick that line, pick that edge. And I think Larry's looking to just brush this. I can't think that he's trying to cut it. Well, he is trying to cut it and he's got it. It's an all or nothing shot. It's all your eggs into one basket. And he's relying on luck to get a shot in the 5. How does that look? Can he thin cut that in from there? I think he can. and he's got to blast it. I'm looking at it from here. Oh, Larry doesn't fancy it. My eyes must be really bad, because I thought he could blast it and thin cut it in. Now Tommy the Welder again has a chance to get a good safety if he can get the pace right. Well, it's not, because Larry has got a thin cut down the rail. He's just checking that the 6 ball goes past the 9, and it's tight, but it goes. And Larry, the worst thing that will happen here is Larry's scratching in the right middle or blocking himself with the 8 ball. So this is not going to be a guaranteed certainty. I mean, he's got the first part right, and he's got the second part right, and I don't think he could have played that any better. He's in prime position here, but he's still got to deal with this 8 ball, because it isn't going past the 9. Now this might be just gentle to come off the rail and leave this 8 ball long into the bottom right. That's one option he has. He's stunned it. He's left it a wee bit short. He should be okay though. And that's going to drop in. And so Larry is going to get through. And that's 2 players have been pushed all the way. But the favourites have come through. And Larry wins by 7 racks to 6. Tommy the Welder moves across the 1 loss side. Now, another look at the bracket. Well, that's going to... Well, it has updated. Larry's now set to play Quack. Again, Larry will be given a hefty handicap there, I would think. And Spectre Dawn is playing CTP, and CTP is getting 6 and out. But Spectre Dawn is racing away with it. He's 5 racks to 1 up. Now let's have a look over here. Well, the 1 loss side, Houdini, is 1 rack up against Miasma. That's a scratch match, race to 4. And nothing is going to happen on the 1 loss side until the result comes through from Nomus Alpha and Keki's use. Nomus Alpha's 2-1 up. And well, Tommy the Welder, I think, is going to get a bye. Did that guy crash turn up? I think that was his name. No, he didn't. So Tommy the Welder is going to get a bye to the next round, as far as I can see. Yeah. Let's double check that. What the hell's his name? Crash 9764. So that's an easy result there for Tommy the Welder. He just needs to sit in the room for 5 minutes, and then he will be advanced to the next round on the 1 loss side. So all the matches are underway apart from that one. Nomus Alpha 2 racks to 1 up against Keki's use. And Houdini playing Miasma. Let's go in and have a look at that one. So this is scratch, no handicap. Houdini trying another great escape. And he's got the 6 and has a shot in the 7. Oh dear. Well, again, cue ball nowhere on the 9, so he didn't get any part of that shot right. And well, this is not something you'd want to be having to play. Trying to cut this 8 down the rail and somehow get a shot in the 9. This is so difficult. But you've got to go for it 100%. Whether he can dig down enough and have enough rail there in the top side of the 8, it was always difficult. So Miasma scratched, ball in hand for Houdini. And a push through. Again, a poorly executed shot. It would have been simpler to roll it into the top left-hand corner and just roll through. He's leaving himself in trouble. Well, this is a gift of a chance for Miasma. And how's it going to finish? Well, absolutely nowhere, but it has to be the reverse bank on this 9. A reverse bank or a reverse double bank, but either or, it's got a good chance of going in. It went to the rail too soon, and this time, is it going to? It's not going to get to the pocket. So once again, Houdini has got the great escape because he's played a poor positional shot with ball in hand on that 8 ball. Left Miasma no great shot, although he had the bank, and then got the gift where that 9 ball ended up. So it's now 2-0 to Houdini. It's only a race to 4, remember, on the 1 loss side. Couple of balls in the break, the 2 ball and the 8 ball's gone. But I don't think you could see enough of that 1 ball to pot it there. And now Miasma has a chance. A little gentle roll through in the 1. And he's got the 3 into the right middle. Well, he's slamming it in and running up the table. He didn't need to, he just needed to roll it in. He had an easy shot in the 3. Now he's left himself a thin cut in the 3. And again, the cue ball's running all over the place here. Well, if you play it like that, the scratch is always going to be more likely. You've got to take evasive action. And it's gifted Houdini a chance to win the rack. Once again, poor positional shot has left a high cut in the 7. And don't tell me again he's escaped. I think he has. Well, no, he hasn't. Miasma can see it. Can he get on the 9? Well, he's not left himself anything here. This is not a gimme. Yeah. Way short in the potting angle. And it's going to be another gift for Houdini. So 3 racks to 0 with the break. No joy in the break, I don't think. Well, that 6 ball is actually a good guide for the cut. And it needs to run into the 7. That will do nicely. Well, this is a stone dead stun on this 5. Now, I think cut your losses here. Pot the 6, roll into the 9. Because you're going to hit the 9. He didn't need to hit it with that amount of pace. If he hadn't hit it so hard, he wouldn't have been so high on the 7, but it looks simple enough now. Well, Spectre Dawn was up against a hefty handicap there, but he has brushed aside CTP by 7 racks to 2. And meanwhile, Miasma gets himself on the board and still trails by 2 at 3 racks to 1. And the 6 ball gets nudged in. And what else? The 2 ball has gone. Now Miasma has a chance to try and get a good safety here. He can cut that one back off the side rail onto this bottom rail and get the cue ball far up the table, somewhere in amongst those balls. Well, he's went all out for the cut. The worst thing has happened. He's hung the one and he's opened up the problem balls. Okay, the 5 and the 8 are up there over the corner pocket, but it's easy enough to nudge one of them in. But he's done the fatal mistake there and going all out for the 1, and the cue ball running loose around the table, and he's opened up the problem balls. And like I said, Houdini just needs to brush one of those balls in. Well, the 3 ball has escaped slightly. And Miasma's going to get a second bite at the cherry, but he's not going to get many more opportunities. Oh, he's brushed the 5 and he's hooked. Or is he? Can he see enough? I think he can just about see enough of the 4. Once again, this shot, a gentle brush into the 9. And he's got the 7 into the middle and a straight in 9 to get another rack in the board. And all he wants now is a bit of better luck in the break here. 4 balls going to go in. 1 is in the open, but again he's got no easy starter. The balls aren't doing him any favours here, but the table is absolutely wide open. You couldn't ask for anything better here. Well, he's gone for the bank. The 3 ball makes it a big pocket, and the 1 ball comes off the edge of the 3 and into the corner. And he has a pot in the 2, but again he's the wrong side of the 2. He's left himself distance, but if he pots this 3, he's going to be on the 5. As long as he avoids hitting the 6. Well, he's missed the pot, but he got himself on the 5. And well, now Houdini has been given an opportunity to win the match at this visit, and he's way off on the 3. And again, he has got lucky. Well, he's living up to his name. He's a great escape artist. And that's not going to get to a rail, is it? Well, it is. And that's now got Houdini in trouble. I thought he'd hit that. He'd underhit that, but the 3 ball just got to the rail, and it's got Houdini in trouble. And he's played that at a nice weight and left nothing easy here for Miasma. Is Miasma going to be taking the bait here and try and cut this down the rail? Because if he does, once again he should have a shot in the 5. Well, he's cut it away. And it's another a second opportunity for Houdini to put this match to bed. And the yawns have started, folks. Can't stem them anymore. Now there's a result through. Well, it's not a result. Kekisus has won by forfeit. Don't know what was happening in that match, but it didn't go all the way. Houdini at the table on the 6. Well, this looks... It looks all too easy, but Houdini's a bit erratic as far as his control of the cue ball is concerned and positional play. Little drag off this 8 ball. And again, he is taking his eye right off the pot. When he's trying to actually play some sort of control shot, he's just not getting the job done. But once again, how many times am I going to say this? He's left absolutely nothing for Miasma. Is he going to try and blast a bank here? It's not a great position for a bank. Going to have to make it. Pick that angle off the rail. Well, he's went for some far-fetched cut this time. It hasn't worked. But he hasn't left anything easy. Well, I think, for the sake of fair play, I think Miasma deserves to get to a final rack decider. With the amount of luck that Houdini's had. Good running, good fortune. You know, you'd hope it would even out at some point, but certainly not for Miasma. And once again, Houdini, he's missed a cut in the 9. He's left Miasma nothing but a very thin cut to try and take this to the final rack. Well, it's off the rail a fair bit, so it's not quite as difficult as it looks. And the cue ball is okay. And so we are going to a final rack. And Miasma has the break, and again he's just hoping to get a ball and get a shot, and I don't think he's getting any luck there either. Houdini's got a starter on the 1. Once again, hasn't picked a potting angle, and now Miasma does get his chance. Now he has to force this 2 in to get the cue ball down the table far enough to be able to cut that 3 in. And this is thinner than he thinks. You're much better just thinning it towards the jaw. It'll still go in than under hitting it. And he's played that well. And a good angle on the 4 should take him up the table on the right hand side for that 5. Use the angle that you have, because you don't have to do anything. And it run into the 8 ball, but it's finished pretty good. Now, has he got enough angle to try and just bring this cue ball up the table slightly? And that's not bad. And he has to be careful here, because this has gone a wee bit straight, and he doesn't want to try and pinch too much on this 6 ball. He's managed to stun it out. And now the toughie. Just pot that 7 and get the cue ball over to this right hand side as we look, and leave yourself a potting angle in the 8. Don't try and do too much. He's missed the 7. Well, this time Miasma has got a wee bit of luck, but Houdini should be going for the reverse bank on the 7. Oh, he straightened it up. Again, he's struggling to pick his angles here, Houdini. Way off the mark with that reverse bank. So Miasma has another chance. to win this match. 9 ball again. How familiar has this position been for the 9 ball tonight? Right in the middle of the table, top half. He's got to have a shot in at least one of these 6 pockets. That needs to slow up a bit. It's gone a bit too far, and he's in this no man's land area. Where do you go from here? Pick the bank, pick the thin cut, but if he cuts this into the corner in the top right, he's got to be careful of the scratch. This cue ball could come off the side rail straight into that left middle. Well, he's went for the bank, he's got the double bank into the top right hand corner, and Miasma is through by 4 racks to 3. Well, I thought he was going to be done by the good running that Houdini had with leaving safes when he wasn't intended to. But Miasma's put him to the sword and goes through. And, well, Miasma won't be playing anyone until the results come through on these winner's side matches. So let's have an update here. We can see that Larry is leading Quack, who's getting the 7 and out by 4 racks to 2. And well, Spectre Don's waiting to play the winner of that match, so we might as well go in and see how things are going. Well, Larry's now 4-2 and about to go 5-2. So Larry breaking off in rack number 8. Four ball was one of the balls that went in. The other one was the 5. Sorry, the 3. And Larry's got a thin cut in the 1. But the problems lie ahead for Larry. There's the problem there. That 8 ball. And Larry's got everything wrong there. He's overcut the 1. He's scratched the middle pocket. And Quack has ball in hand to try and get at least one of the racks back on the scoreboard. But likewise, he's got the same problem Larry would have had, having to deal with that 8 ball. That's if he can get there. Now, the danger here is trying to split this 8-9 off the 6, because you're never guaranteed you're going to have a shot in the 7, and if you did, it would be from distance. Well, Quack is quite content. All I had to do was pot the 7. Now, it happens every week. I keep forgetting about the handicap. I forgot player 2's got 7 and out. So he didn't have to get to the 8 ball. But it doesn't matter. The most important thing is he's got another rack on the board. He's still trailing by 2. And he potted the 2 in the break. Missed the cut in the 1. And Larry's got a starter. Well, that's gone the low side of the 3, but it's a good angle to get up the table. Now, is he going to run to the round? I thought that. He's going to stun it, because that way... Oh dear, where's the cue ball going? Well, it's ended up hanging over the corner pocket. This is a difficult one. he looks at the moment he's lining up the bank. Yeah. Well, it was never going to be a double bank because of that 6 and 9 ball being there. This time Larry's left nothing easy as well for Quack. But he's got the 4, but was he thinking about getting position in the 5? The evidence suggests he wasn't really thinking an awful lot about it. And then he ends up trying to play a very difficult thin cut at distance, and all he's done is gifted Larry the rack. If you're going to go all out for that 4 ball, you've got to go all out to get position. And there's no point in going half measures when you play a shot. You have to play it 100%. He got one part of it right and totally neglected the other part, and this is why he's gifting Larry the rack. The only thing that can go wrong here is if Larry's scratching the left middle pocket, if he's coming over to the left. He can do everything to avoid that, but it's the only thing that could go wrong. And he's came close there, but he's fine. So, well, Quack had his chance. It wasn't an easy 4 ball, but he just threw it away. Didn't get anywhere good on the 5. Went for a sort of 2 and 10 shot with that very thin cut at distance, a very thin cut along the rail in the 5, and just sold out. Facebook buffering, is it? Well, it's probably because it's busy. Everything should be fine on Twitch and YouTube. Good evening. What took you so long? Potman, in case you never heard, I've finished the story mode in Red Dead Redemption. It's all the little side missions and treasure hunts that I'm going to start doing now. I've already found 1 gold bar. It's in a burnt out settlement. The settlement doesn't have a name, but you can see it on the map. It's just like burnt out shacks that's there, and if you get into one of them, there's a little container, a little chest that you open up, and you find a gold bar. And then whenever you can, you go to the fence, and you'll get he'll give you $500 for it. So Quack trailing by 6 racks to 4. And look at these balls now. They are all perfect for Larry to pounce if he gets a chance. And Quack going all out just to pot the 1. This is what players do. They play right into the hands of players of Larry's quality. When they start going for shots that, let's be honest, it's far easier to play a half decent safety than it is likely that you're going to get the pot. Okay, nothing's been left dead easy here for Larry to get control. A difficult 2 ball that he's managed to roll in. He's held for the 3, and I think Quack has played his last shot in this match. Wrong choice of shot again when he should be thinking about keeping it safe. And The only difficult one is that 8 ball. Because that 8 ball is married to the rail, and that could be a problem for Larry when he's going to try and pot the 8 and get on that 9. Now, if I was Larry, let's see what he's got in this 6 ball. It's well worth taking a risk trying to draw across onto this 8 ball, because he's bound to have a shot in the 7. If he looks at the 8, he can see that it's tight in the rail, and he's maybe going to try and draw in. No, he's not. He's going to try and leave an angle. Well, we're about to find out if he can get there. He's got an angle where he could nudge into the 8, but he's quite content to... Well, he's going to have to kill the cue ball and leave the cut in the 9 if he's going to play it safe. Oh, he's played it well. He's got right into the cue ball, got it flush, and he's perfect in the 9 for the match. So Larry wins by 7 racks to 4. We're now 2 hours into the tournament, and we've got the Clash of the Titans coming up, because lying in wait for Larry is Spectre Dawn. And this is the hot seat match. This is to see who gets to tonight's final. And there might not be much in it in handicap, by the way, in this match. Oh, Christ. See this bracket? I cannot stand this thing. I don't know why he doesn't go for a straight up and down bracket like they do in Shooter's Pool, because that's simple. You can just look at straight up and down on it. You don't have to do all this skidding about crap. Well, nothing's going to happen over that side now until this side is resolved with this match between Larry and Spectre Dawn. Spectre Dawn. Well, Larry's in the room. I thought Spectre Dawn was in the room. Larry's in, ready to go. The 2 players will lag for the break. I think this will be a scratch match. Yes, it is. So Larry's on. Larry's nearest to camera here. Spectre Dawn on the opposite side of the table. And Spectre Dawn looks to have it. He's got the pace. So Spectre Dawn is going to break off. And the break is dry. The 1 ball isn't flush to the rail. Larry just looking to keep it safe. Spectre Dawn has picked out the bank. He's on the 2, no problem. 3 over the pocket. Well, Larry trying to get a good safety there. Left a possible bank. Spectre Dawn picked it out. And straight away, Spectre Dawn has his chance of the run out. Let's have a look at this 5 ball. We can see it's not going past the 7. And the 6 ball is in the way here as well. And he's clipped to 6. And again, there is traffic. He's got the high cut and the 5. He's got to avoid that 9 ball, because that's the one that's in the way when he comes off the end rail. He's going to try and find that gap between the 7 and the 9. It's a big enough gap. He's managed to get it, but of course, when you're thinking about that sort of thing, he's missed the cut. Well, look what Larry's left. He's got a 5 ball at distance, plenty of room past the 9. But he's going to have to thump this if he's going to try and get this cue ball moving. And the same problem for Larry, the 7 ball's in the way here. If he's going to try and go forward, he's trying to dig and come across. Needs a bit of luck. And that is not bad. He will be very pleased with that. And this is a chance that Larry might not have expected here. But it's a chance to get him off the mark. Well, that was a tough shot on that 5 ball. He played it well, got the pace right. And he's got first blood in this hot seat match. And the break, though, is dry. No shot for Spectre Dawn. Once again, if Spectre Dawn plays the push out at the top side of the table, he's leaving an easy snooker. So again, he's just leaving it this bottom side. Now Larry has got the bank there to entice him, and the 2 is there for the taking as well. Larry won't be able to resist this, I don't think. All out for the bank. But no shot in the 2. He's run into the 4, and that's killed his any chance of getting position in the 2. So now Larry trying to hide up in the top corner by that 7 ball. Well, he hasn't got there. And Spectre Dawn has got a nice... You maybe need to play this with a wee bit of inside right. Might be a wee touch for comfort, but he could just go plain ball and pot this. Yeah, I think... again, I think he was in 2 minds as to what to do there. Whether he was comfortable playing with a wee bit of inside English just to check the cue ball. And with all of that going on, he's forgotten about the 2. Well, Larry's pushed the 2 past the middle pocket. There is an easy safety here for Spectre Dawn. He's looking at the 2-9 combo, but it's much easier to play the safety. He can brush off the 2. Well, he's trying to play the combo. I think that's a sellout, but once again, the old Houdini escape act has happened. And Larry is full ball hooked on the 2. And Spectre Dawn now has a shot. And he's got, again, a nice angle. Plenty of room. Anywhere in this area is going to give him a cut on the 3. I think he can just stun past the 5 onto the rail if he digs in. Or is he just going to brush through? Well, he's going to dig in just to stun past it. Well, he's stunned into the 5. Still got a shot. Now the 5 will go past the 7. But he's got plenty of room to get top side of that 5 to play it into the same pocket as the 4. Well, this is now not easy. He's left himself in bedhead territory here with a cut shot and this 5. Wrong side to get good in the 6. But he's cut it into the middle. And now he's in good shape to tie the match. So 1 rack all. We are playing for a place in tonight's final. Inspector Don thought about scratching on the break. Cue ball hanging over the pocket. And, well, he's got the shot. I think he's actually hooked by the jaw. So it's a big jump to try and skim past the 3, but he's jumped into the jaw. And straight away, Larry has a chance, but he's going to have to play the combo in the 2-8, and he's going to have to make it. Going to have to cut that 2 that way to cut the angle onto that 8. Well, that's probably about as good as he could get. And, well, unfortunately for Miasma, his time in this week's tournament is now over. On that 1-loss side, Quack has beaten Miasma by 4 racks to 0. And meanwhile, Larry's just pushed the 5 safe, got no shot in the 2, although he can thin cut it and bring this cue ball down to the left. Well, he's going to the right to try and hide behind the 5, and I still think it'd have been better doing my suggestion. It'd have been better cutting that 2 along there, spinning the cue ball and getting it down there. He's still not left anything really on here for Spectre Dawn. Now Larry, is he going to take on this combo? No, he isn't. He's just trying to push the cue ball safe, and that'll do. And if he's gone close enough to the 3, he can't kick bank the 2. So that's why Spectre Dawn was forced onto the long rail. And he hasn't got far enough with the cue ball. But there is a lifeline here for Spectre Dawn in this rack, and that all hinges on Larry getting good on the 5. The one helping thing that he has is that the 4 is close to the 5. So as long as he can get up this end of the table, he'll have a chance of trying to break into that 5 if he can. And he's got the angle to do it. The 5 is tight, but it passes past the 9. Oh, he's trying a really accurate shot. He's not quite 100% there, but he's got the cut. And he needs to stun past the 5 and come down bottom right side of the table for that 7 into the left middle. And he's got there. And now it's fairly simple. Soft draw off the 7. And a fairly straight in 9 ball for 2-1. Another result through on that 1-loss side, and it's another 4-0 result. This time it's for Tommy the Welder against CTP. And one of these players will be going over to join them on the 1-loss side in a few minutes' time. I think Larry tried to squeeze that past the 4 there to pot that one. Well, he's given Spectre Dawn a gift of a start here. And that one single shot there by Larry has just thrown away this rack. Excuse me. Well, at least you got that far. Oh, you were only one result away from some money there, miasma. Quack's guaranteed $200 and it could be more. And meanwhile, Spectre Dawn has missed a shot in the one. Well, Larry, although he's got a shot in the one, he's going to again have to play a good shot to get a shot in the two. He's drawn straight into the two. Well, is he going to be going all out for the cut into this corner pocket? Surely it's got to be the safety. Well, it's not that safe, to be honest with you. Spectre Dawn can easily jump the four, and not only that, pot the two. But with the jump shot, if he pots the two with the jump shot, the cue ball has to be going that way. So he's going to have a long shot in the three. Well, again, it's another very thin cut in the three ball. But he's got the angle just to come back across for a shot in the four. And that is perfect. Can just cut the four in, drop onto the top rail, and he'll be very nicely on that five. Well, that's gone, I think, a bit straight. Let's see what he's got. No, he's fine. Can easily enough make plenty of angle off that. But again, he's way short in pace. This is another middle of nowhere shot in the six. It's still going to be all out for the cut into this bottom right hand corner, and that's always just asking a wee bit too much. So Larry breathes again in this rack. Can he put it away? Well, this is just a little draw stunt, just to go across to the right for that 8. Well, it looks simple to go forward off the short rail, back into the middle of the table for the 9. Well, Larry's pinched that one. I don't think he thought he was going to get another chance in it. But it puts Larry back in front by 3 racks to 2. Where's the cue ball going? Oh, that is an absolute disaster. I bet you Larry has just cracked his head off his computer table. with that shot. In the blink of an eye, he's got a chance to pinch the rack, and he's done every rookie's shot there by potting the 9, and the cue ball's run across into the middle pocket. That's everybody's nightmare, doing a shot like that with the pace that he had on it. It just had enough pace to find its way to the edge of the pocket and dropped in, and all of a sudden, looking like guaranteed a lead of 3-2, and he's trailing. Well, how to dig a hole for yourself there, Larry. Well, that's a good shot, but the cue ball's running. Once again, this time, it's the shoes on the other foot. Spectre Dawn all out for the cut, and the 1 gets the cut, but the cue ball has escaped, and Larry has ball in hand. Now, can he make up for that disaster in the last rack? He'll be desperate to do it to save himself the embarrassment. Oh, he's short again. He is way short on this 5 ball. He's putting the pressure on himself here. Wrong angle in the 5. Got to get across the table for a shot in the 6. Well, he's played it well. It's a little bit of a cutback, but a little dig in. He can stun across to the left-hand side for the 7 into the same pocket. Oh dear. Oh, Larry. Again, the eye off the object ball, thinking about the 7, and he's forgotten about the 6. Well, that's 2 glaring errors by Larry in the space of a couple of minutes, and both of them look like they're going to be severely punished. Well, it isn't quite there yet, but this might be turning into a bit of a nightmare for Larry if he keeps that up. Oh, the guns are really starting now. The old brain's in shutdown mode again. The pace is good in the cue ball, and Spectre Dawn has had 2 gifts, the previous rack especially. Well, with this one, well, what the hell's he doing with the cue ball? Well, it's not going to get there, but he did his best to scratch there as well. But it's 2 glaring errors by Larry that are the reason he's now 4 racks to 2 behind. Spectre Dawn breaking off in rack number 7, and he has the 8 ball in the break. He's got a shot in the 1, a shot in the 2, and he's going to have to deal with the 3 ball, and I'm going to blow my nose. 2 seconds. Oh, just back in time. Spectre Dawn missing the pot in the 4, but that was because he was studding into it to get across for the 5. And again, he's left Larry nothing easy. Larry gets the thin cut. This cue ball's going to have to keep going, and I think he's just got there. If Very thin cut in the 5. But if he gets the pace right, he should be over to that right hand side, just below the middle pocket, for a fairly straight in 6 ball. Well, he's went for the bank instead. Didn't fancy the cut, but he's still in the ideal position. Again, this just looks simple enough to pot the 7 and come across. Well, Larry's gone up there. I don't know why he didn't just come across for the 9 into the right middle. To me, it looked a lot simpler to pot the 7. Oh, it wasn't like that. It was a bit like that. And just come across there. Leave the 9 into the middle. He's now putting himself under so much pressure having to pull off pots like that. But he's got it. And he's back to within 1. And the 5 ball has gone in. No shot in the 1, but Spectre Don will be in trouble. He's well buried behind. Well, if it was tight to the 3, it might have been more difficult. Oh, Larry's. I mean, that's as good a reason as anything. Good evening, Slim. But it is as good a reason, because what game I've got, which isn't that much, has gone right down the pan, especially 9 ball, even in the last few months. Even though I don't play it that much, it's just such a struggle now for me. The eyes have gone. I mean, my eyes have been gone for years. And it is that, I mean, a lot of stuff, even like in the professional snookers players, it's the concentration that goes. Missing silly shots, and it is age catching up. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it at all. I mean, the thing is, though, is that, like, even Larry does not play this game nowhere near half as much as what he used to. I mean, and that was back in the day when I used to be playing every night, you know, for hours on end, and Larry was pretty much always online back in those days. And we just don't get time to play now. I mean, the only time I really see Larry online here is, you know, in our time zone, maybe about 7 o'clock at night he'll come on, and really only then he's on to see if there's maybe a game of doubles, and then he'll disappear. It's just the fact that he doesn't get as much table time, and all that he does get is generally in the Friday night 9 ball, which is 1 tournament a week. Occasionally the 9 ball Scottish doubles and maybe the 10 ball, but half the time they don't go ahead. So it's just totally lack of match time, table time. Yeah. Well, that's why I've been saying for the last 3 or 4 big championship tournaments that we've had that, you know, Larry's running out of time. He has, in all the years I've watched, Larry's, you know, he's been there, he's got to finals, he's got to final rack deciders in big finals. I think it was against Allenville, if I remember, or something like that. It might have been Albinario, I can't remember, but he's not quite got there, and he's running out of time to ever win one of them. But he's got it back to all square in this match from selling 2 racks down the Swanee River to go 4-2 behind. He's managed to get it back all square. And if he can come, is he going to go forward and out to the left? Yes. And he's got plenty of room on the 5. He should be out here. What is that? Dead straight? Let's have a look. It is dead straight. So he's only going to come back. And Tommy the Welder has beaten Quack by 4 racks to 1. So I think that's the tournament pretty much up to date as far as it can go until these two guys get themselves sorted out. Now, let's have a look at this. See what my instincts say. It's out and around for the 9 in the same pocket. So we'll give Larry that for a 5-4 lead. Let's just have a quick look at the bracket and see where we are. I think that is us pretty much sorted. Yep. Tommy the Welder is sitting on the or sitting in the semi-final, waiting on the loser of this match. And we don't know who that's going to be yet, but Larry is 5-4 in front. He's broke off. The 8 ball has gone. He's got no shot in the 1, I don't think. Let's have a look. No, that 1 ball's going nowhere there. Well, goodness me, what a shot. I mean, that was tight. I mean, I never got a real chance to get really close in, but that was tight, that 1 ball. I didn't think that was going to go. I mean, that's the other problem. My eyes tell me a lot of different things. There's no way I thought that 1 ball would go. And that's the other problem. I can't see edges of balls at the end of the table to make cuts half the time. Half the time I'm just guessing. Now that was some shot. Of course, with that 3 ball, he's done the best he can to go over to the right hand side. He would have wanted to be the top side of the 5 rather than the bottom end as we look, to make it a wee bit easier on this 4 ball, but the cut is still on. He's got plenty of room to go on this 5. He can just basically pot the 4. As long as he comes around a corner off that end rail and out, he's got to have a shot in the 5. And then the crucial one is going to be from the 6 to the 7. The ideal shot would just be to come back across to the right again to like where the 5 ball is, or close to it. And that looks pretty perfect to be able to do that. The simple shot, pot the 6 over to the right hand side by the middle pocket and don't scratch, and leave yourself a straight in 7. And away off the rail. Now how does that look? Well, the simple one is to just go forward and leave the 9 into the same pocket, but it looks as if he's played it right English to go around the corner and play the 9 into the same pocket. He's overhit it a wee tad, but he should be okay for a 2 rack lead, and a rack that takes Larry to the hill. And it's 6-4. And Larry again with the break. And now, of course, all the pressure on Spectre Dawn to keep things tight. Or it's all out, all or nothing. Well, he's trying to keep it tight, and he's got the first part right with that cue ball. Now, does Larry fancy he can jump this? And the answer to that is yes. And in goes the 1. It's going to be a long two. And what's the angle like he's got? Because if he's got to go right through, and if he does, he's going to be very close to that corner pocket. I think he's going to try and stay short of this. But he's, either way, he's going to leave this three very difficult. Well, he's gone forward. He knew fine. He was going to try and just go forward and pinch the jaw to leave himself close to the rail for the three. I could see what he was trying to do. But because he was so straight, there was always the danger it was going to just follow straight into the pocket. The idea was right, but he never got that wee bit of luck with the angle being pinched onto the jaw just to keep him out of the pocket. And it's handed Spectre Dawn the chance to get one back. Yeah, we'll forgive Larry for that shot because we knew what he was trying to do. We knew exactly the risk involved in the shot that he just played. But it definitely looks on the cards that Spectre Dawn's going to get one back at least here. So the tournament is now an hour and 35, sorry, not an hour, 2 hours and 35 minutes old. I am again past my bedtime. The brain is half shut down on my left hand side. I can only see out of one eye. Half of my body's gone to sleep, the other half wants to join it. Oh, Spectre Dawn has broken off in rack number 12. Couple of balls have gone in. We've lost the 4 and the 5. He's got a thin cut in the 1, but look where the 2 is. So this is an up and down. Avoid anything at the top end of the table and come back down and you've got a shot in the 2. That's the plan. It needs to keep running. It's almost there. And that is not too bad. Now, well, that's as good as you could probably act. The only problem with it is so close to the rail. If it was out here, he'd be a lot better. But it's all a question of whether he leaves himself short, or he finishes inside the 9, or if he comes off the rail and out for a shot in a 3. Let's see what happens. Well, he's not got any risk that he's going to run anywhere near the 7 and 8, so they're out of the equation. Yeah, he's leaving himself the high cut on the 3. The angle is perfect again, just to come off the end rail. Nothing to do with the cue ball other than stopping it going right. He just wants into the middle of the table. Well, that's gone a bit straight. He's going to have to punch this in, this 7 ball, to get out and have an angle on this 8 to get up the table. So it's not home and dry yet, this rack. And he's got the cue ball out. Again, it's a wee bit straight. He's going to have to make up. Well, it looks as if it's a straight right-hand English one. Just anywhere in the corner bar a scratch will do. And wouldn't you know, it's another match tonight that has gone all the way. I think this is the 3rd one we've seen. We're in the final rack decider. Spectre Dawn breaking. And he has got the 4 ball into the left middle. And what's more, he's got a shot in the 1. The balls are all over the table. They're perfect. Wide open. The only difficult one's the 2. It's just getting on the 2 that's the problem. Everything else will fall into place when he gets the 2. And I think Larry will be thinking the same thing. If he gets a shot in the 2, this rack's over. But fortunately for Larry, Spectre Dawn's brushed the 5 and it's locked him onto the 2. And Spectre Dawn, I think, has fallen asleep as well because he's played an awful safety. And Larry's Christmas has come early here because he's now eyeing up the lay of the table to get this job done. There's no way he was going to think he was going to have a shot here after Spectre Dawn decided to play the safety. He's played it far too heavy. 2's come right out. Left Larry an easy starter. And, well, it's all about just controlling the cue ball. Now, I think he's got to surely play the cut down the rail rather than just try to drop this into the middle, surely. I'd be far happier cutting it long because you're bringing the cue ball across for the 6. Got to leave the angle in the 6 though. And he's got the angle. Now here is a dangerous shot. Does he go forward and around, or does he come back off there? If he does that, he can easily scratch the middle pocket. If he digs in and doesn't get it right, well, he's managed to play it more of a draw, and he's taken the scratch out of the equation. Because if he had went forward, there was a big risk of just running into the 8 or something happening. And now this looks all over. Again, for safety's sake, with this shot, you've got the angle, you go forward and you run off the end rail and maybe the side rail and finish up with the middle pocket. And that is ideal. So Larry is going to win out in the end in the 3rd match tonight that we've seen that has gone all the way. And Larry wins by 7 racks to 6, but he may well, with the greatest of respect to who Spectre Dawn's going to be playing next, he may well be meeting Spectre Dawn for a rematch, but who's to say? That's yet to be proved, because now Spectre Dawn moves over to that 1-loss side and he's going to be playing Tommy the Welder in a race to 4. And Tommy the Welder is, what, 2052, was he? He's going to be getting like the 8 ball or something like that, I would think, as his extra money ball. So the room for that is up. There's no players in it yet. Well, there is now. And I'm just going to dive in and get ready. If I can get in. So Tommy the Welder is there. And we'll find out what the handicap will be in a second or two once Spectre Dawn joins. Excuse me. Well, that's a wee bit more generous than I thought. Well, that's a terrible lag on the left-hand side. Who the hell is that that played that lag? Was that Tommy the Welder? No, it was Spectre Dawn. I don't know. I don't know what the hell happened here. But Tommy the Welder's won the lag. He's getting the 6 ball as his extra money ball. Now remember, that doesn't mean 6 and out. That means the 6 ball is the extra money ball. If he can pot that at any time with a legal shot during the rack, he wins the rack. So right now, Tommy the Welder has potted the 2 in the break. He's got a shot in the 1. He can get off that left side rail and across for the 3. The 4 goes past the 7. If he can get around and avoid running into anything. And that's not quite guaranteed here with the angle that he has in the 3. The 6 could be in the way. And the 6 is his undoing, because not only has he hit the 6, he's locked himself behind the 8. and he cannot see any of that 4 ball. And now it's the old bish bash bosh. Have a blast. Bang the sit. Well, he didn't have a blast at all. I would have belted that and just hit and hoped. So, Spectre Dawn comes to the table, ball in hand. That's just how easy it is to get yourself out of shape there. Tommy the Welder had a gilt-edged chance if he could run those 2 or 3 balls to win the first rack. But Spectre Dawn has been given the opportunity, and most times, more often than not, he'll take it. Little draw up to the left hand side. Oh, it must have been straighter than I thought. Just a straight draw back. So now with the break, Spectre Dawn into rack number 2. And the cue ball has scratched. Now, what have we got here? Well, we've got a 1-6. Shit, I was forgetting. It is. It's a 1-6 combo. You've got to play it for a very quick rack. So take your time, use your shot clock, and once you're happy, then you let go. You've got plenty of time. So that is a bonus for Tommy the Welder after throwing away his chance in that first rack. He gets a gift in the second rack. And he breaks off in rack number 3 and gets no joy. Spectre Dawn will be cutting the 1 to the top left. Easy shot in the 2. And the 3 ball in the middle of the table. So Spectre Dawn is looking odds on at going back into the lead here, provided he can get good on that 3 ball. And the only remaining problem, well, there's actually 2, is getting good on the 6 and then getting good from that 7 to the 8. So it's not a guaranteed rack, but it should be as long as he keeps that cue ball under control. And again, he's left himself the very thin cut in the 6. And he just run out of chances there. He just cannot keep pulling these shots off. Has he got the reward? No, he hasn't. But can Tommy the Welder take the chance? Because he's still going to have to deal with that. Oh shit, I've forgotten again. I've forgotten the handicap. Oh dear. You can tell it's getting late for me. I forgot he's got the 6 ball. Well, anyway, where are we? We're in rack number 4. I am going downhill rapidly, guys. I want to get to my bed. Oh, that's the worst thing about getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. When it gets this time of night, your body decides, hang on a minute, I've had enough of this. It just starts locking up and shutting down. I don't think any amount of caffeine I could consume at this hour would stop my brain from going in shutdown mode. And that's another thing about age. When you get to a certain age, you do need a nap in the afternoon, and I had a nap earlier on this afternoon as well. When I got home from work, I had something to eat, and then I was watching TV, and whatever it was I was watching, 20 minutes later, it was gone, and I woke up. So the jump shot escape from Spectre Dawn, relying on luck to get anywhere near the 4. And I think he's still got a shot. Thin cut, but up and down the table for a shot in the 5 here. That needs to bounce. He's going to be way short, but Tommy the Welder's going to be in deep trouble in a minute. Locked up on the 7 and 6. Well, I don't know why Spectre. I mean, surely it's more than obvious you just play the tight safety here. Is he going for the thin cut in this 5? Yes, he is. Well, he's taking risks. And taking a risk at 2-1 down is not generally the best advice. But again, because he was never guaranteed he was going to have a shot in the 6. That's the difference with a lot of players, where they just decide, he's going to go for it, all or nothing, and he's going to get the reward. But more times than not, you push the boat out a little too far, and you get in over your head, and all you do is just sell the rat. But this time, it's worked for Spectre Dawn, and he's got it back all square. 2 racks all. Breaks off in rack number 5. And gets nothing. Tommy the Welder comes to the table with a pot in the 1. And as long as he can get somewhere up the table, he can play the combo on this 8 ball. Because that will go in. It will, as long as he plays the right pace, it will cheat off the rail. He needs to miss the 6. Let's have a look now. Oh, he can just see the 2. I think he can play the cut, and if he plays at the right pace, he'll give the 8 ball every chance of going in. Well, he hasn't hit it. He has not hit it. I think that was the idea he had, but he just didn't hit it. You got to give it the pace to get there. And that 8 ball would have went in. He got the hard part of it right, actually getting up to have a shot to make the combo. And then he didn't follow through and play the shot at all. He went half measures and didn't have anywhere near enough pace in his shot for that 8 ball to get to the pocket. Well, Spectre Dawn isn't making life easier for himself either. He's got another tough 5 ball. And this cue ball could be running into trouble if it comes down this right side. Well, he actually got lucky, hit the 9 and finished on the 6, but this time he's missed a cut on the 5. And Tommy the Welder has a cut shot. It's off the rail by an inch. He needs to get the pace to get the cue ball into the middle of the table. And it's going to scratch. That's going to drop. And that's a disaster. amongst 2 or 3 disasters, not just by Tommy the Welder, by a few that we've seen tonight. And it's a gift for Spectre Dawn again. So Spectre Dawn is going into the lead. 3 racks to 2. And with the break. Well, it's dry. And Tommy the Welder, if he can get this connection in the 1 ball right, he will have Spectre Dawn in dire trouble. He can get this a feather edge in the 1. And the 8 ball was always going to be the stopper. And this is where Spectre Dawn needs to be careful, because if he tries to get to the 1, he'll open up the 6 and the 2 if he doesn't get the 1 clean. And he's managed to hit the 1. He's opened up the 6 and the 2. But he's played a legal shot, but he's left the 1 on. That needs a wee bit. Is he trying to come back? Oh, he's managed to avoid the 4. It was always a bit more risky playing that shot. Now, is Tommy the Welder going to hold his game together here to get to that 6 ball? This could go wrong here if he goes too far left. The sort of simple shot to play is to play this and pot it with a wee bit of right English to just check the cue ball off the end rail, but you're leaving a long cut in the 4. See, the danger is letting it run like that, because you can end up being hooked behind the 5. He's managed to find a gap somehow, and now he's in prime position on this 4 to just come up the table and take the 5 into the middle pocket. He needs to go to at least this side of that 5. It needs to keep going, and that is perfect. Pretty much on the line. And all he needs to do now is drop the 5 in and drop through for the 6, and he's going to a final rack decider. So it's yet another final rack decider in tonight's tournament, and it's going to be Tommy the Welder breaking off. Well, Spectre Dawn's been living life on the edge tonight, because he's had certainly 2 of them, these final rack deciders. The question is whose luck's going to run out. Tommy the Welder has broken off and had no, or has he? Yeah, he's got the 3 ball in the break. Well, look at the table and take your time. You drop the 1 in, skim out behind the 6. Surely he can see enough to pot that 1. No, he can't. I thought he could see enough of it. He obviously couldn't. But he's played a good safety. He's left it at distance, and Spectre Dawn could only see an edge of the 1, which always makes it more difficult in playing the shot and getting it safe, but he's got it safe. It's an easy hit though, but Tommy the Welder's really just relying on luck to get this safe. If he plays it soft, he could just leave himself open to a hook. Well, it's a chance now though for Spectre Dawn. Full focus on the 1 ball. And as long as the cue ball doesn't get away, he'll have the pot and the 2 into that middle. And he's overcut the one. It wasn't easy because he was hampered queuing over. I thought he was queued over the 6 ball. It was not a gimme, that 1 ball, but it's another chance for Tommy the Welder to get this match done. And he just, I would be spinning this towards the 8 just to use the 8 ball as a stopper and not just clip it. And that's not too bad. It's a wee bit of a blind pocket, but if he just concentrates in the 4, the cue ball's running over towards the 7. He'll have the long pot in the 5. Oh, he's miles away. Oh, that was awful. That shot in the 4. Miles away from the pot. What does Spectre Dawn do though? What's he got? Not very much, to be honest with you. Well, I think he tried to play that off the rail, off the 9 and into the pocket. He wasn't far away. Easy hit for Tommy the Welder. Can he get enough of that 4 for it to go in? Yes, he can. I think that was legal. Yep. And now, well, the cue ball it's all about the cue ball. He's got to come off the 5, across the table and back across, and it needs to keep going. And so Tommy the Welder has this shot to get to tonight's final, the 6 ball for the match, and in it goes. And that's a final rat decider that has gone against Spectre Dawn. Tommy the Welder takes him out, and it's going to be Tommy against Larry in tonight's final in a race to 9. What the hell does that say? Uncroyable. What does that mean? And the 2 players are in. They'll be lagging off right now. And Larry, I think Larry's in the left-hand side, because that's certainly not his cue in the right. But Larry's cue hasn't loaded for me yet. But his cue ball is on the left as we look. And Tommy the Welder. Oh shit, I don't know what's happened here. Oh, the cues weren't right. Oh, so uncroyable means incredible, does it? That's like one of my typos, that one. So Larry won the lag, unless I am out of sync. And the 1 and the 2 ball have gone on the break. No shot in the 3 though. Oh, and a quick reminder as well, Tommy the Welder is player 2, and he's getting the 5 ball as his extra money ball. Oh, you changed cue. That's Larry, by the way. I don't know where the hell he gets this Chet name from, but Larry's changed his cue. That's why it hadn't loaded. Or no. Well, that was Tommy the Welder's cue then that was on the left-hand side on my screen, because it was just a house cue that I saw. Well, the one thing in Larry's favour in this rack is that the 5-ball is tied up in that end rail. And Tommy, I think, can just squeeze that 4 in. He can just come around the 5 slightly, and he might not even need to. No, I don't think he did. But he's going to have to work some magic here, I think, to squeeze that in past the 7. Does that 5? I think that 5-ball goes. Well, I don't think he's looked at that closely enough. I think that would... Oh, what's he fluked here? He's fluked to 7. And now it's the reverse bank on the 5-ball for the rack. This has got a good chance of going in. Either one shot or back across. Well, he's potted the 6 anyway as a backup. Well, that's 2 lucky breaks for Tommy the welder. And he's got to take that advantage and make sure he pots the 5. And he might have run out of all his luck in the one rack here. He might have used all his luck to win that first rack. So Tommy the welder has the break. And also a reminder that this is a race to 9, this final. We are now 3 hours and 5 minutes into the tournament. I need another drink. And it's going to be a long 1-7 combo here for Larry. No idea where the 1's finishing. And he's scratched. And it could be a quick 1-9 combo here for Tommy the welder. Oh, this has got to go in every day of the week. As long as you just get the line and nice and gentle. So you don't punch that 5 off the rail. What a bonus that is. So Tommy the welder is quickly into a 2-0 lead. And the 9-ball is one of the balls that went in the break. It will get respotted. Another ball went in as well, which was the 2-ball. Tommy remains at the table. It's going to be a simple 1-3 combo. Oh dear, now how the hell did that happen? How did that 3-ball not go in? It looked impossible to miss it. But somehow he's missed it. And he's given Larry a chance. And of course, with the 9-ball being respotted, it just creates a slight issue with the 7, although the 7's wide open to the corner pocket. But really that's the only one that's going to go in, or the left, or this middle pocket. It's not got any other pockets available, so the position on this 7 is going to be of utmost importance for Larry. And but before he gets there, he's got this 5-ball to deal with, and this is nothing easy. He's pretty much square onto the 5 and going to have to work this cue ball to get a sight on the 6. This is tough. And he's managed to get the pot, he's got the pace, and he's now got the nice angle on the 6, which will just bring the cue ball up this way somewhere. Oh, well, Larry's got the touch of an elephant. That was awful. He has overhit that by about 3 feet in pace. He's still got the cut. But again, when you leave yourself shots like that, you are just running out of potting angles to try and pull them off all the time. Meanwhile, Tommy has one chance a bank here, and he's hit it offline. And Larry will be thin cutting that one. Bound to have a shot on the 8 ball unless the cue ball runs up the table into the 9. But he's bound to be bouncing off that bottom rail. Well, he's cut the 7. It hasn't gone in. And Tommy the Welder has to get these 3 balls because the 5 ball has gone. And he's got to pot the 3 balls now to win the rack. And if he finishes straight in the 8, he has got no choice really here. The simple shot. Keep it simple all the time. Just pot the 8 and roll through there, and you pot the 9 into the middle. That's a simple shot. And it's 3-0 to Tommy the Welder. And, well, if I was going to give Tommy the Welder any advice, the one thing would be of priority is don't get careless and don't start taking crazy chances because right now Larry's annoyed. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to be poking him with a stick because you'll only annoy him even more. And Larry has got Tommy in trouble here. Easy enough to... He might even kick this in if he can squeeze it a bit. No. Well, there's a mess here with the 5 and 6 on that right-hand side. So whoever gets in really is going to have work to do. Now, thinking ahead here, Larry, when he pots the 1, if he pots the 2 and 3, the good thing about this 4 ball is that if Larry can get to, say, this side here for that 4 ball, he's already planning that. He pots the 4, he gets a spin in the cue ball, and gets over here and gets a split in the 5. He's got easily enough room to split that 5 and 6 as long as he gets to the left hand side of the table, but that isn't going to happen because it's Tommy the Welder that's at the table and he's hooked on the 2. But whoever gets in, that is what they have to be doing unless something else moves that 5 and 6. That will be the break shot from the 4 to the 5 and 6. Again, I don't know what Larry tried there, but it is a sort of... It is a safety, put it that way. Now, Tommy the Welder could go for the bank or he could go for the safety. He's gone for the bank and that has just played straight into Larry's hands. Tommy had a great chance of locking that cue ball in behind the 5 and 6 there. And Larry's now in a position to do what we've just said. If he pots this 2 and gets good on the 3 to come across. I mean, the other way of doing it is if he finished there on the 4, he could check the cue ball and still split the 5 and 6 that way. Now from here he's still got enough angle. He's still got enough angle. He's hooked himself on the 3. And now the cue ball is running. Well, he's now... Well, everything's going wrong here. I don't know what's happening. I'm falling asleep. I don't know who's at the table. But what I do know is Larry's filled the 8. He's given Tommy the Welder ball in hand. And Tommy the Welder has to play that shot. Now, you pot the 3, come over to the left to give yourself an angle to get the breakout in the 5 and 6. Well, that was a risk to break it. That is probably worth the risk because the 4 is so close to the pocket. But now, when you haven't done that, you've got to back yourself and back it up. And this is where it can all go wrong. He's got the thin cut in the 5. He needs to avoid the 6 on the way back across. And he's run into the 6. And now, well, what am I talking about? I forgot. This is the 3rd time tonight I've forgotten about the handicap. He only needed the 5 ball. I need to go to bed. I am well past my bedtime. Yeah, I'm forgetting that Tommy's got the 5 ball. Again. Anyway, it's now 4-0 to Tommy the Welder. And that is a good shot. That is an excellent shot. I don't think he could have played that any better. Yeah, that was difficult to pick an angle off the rail there to get to that one. And now Tommy's got a big reward here from that excellent safety. And the 5 ball, again in Tommy's favour, the thing that they can benefit from here is that the 4 and the 5 are close together. Well, he could have done without the kiss and the 2 because that's now locked him up. Needs to get this safe. Needs to get distance and cover. And that will do as far as not leaving anything easy is concerned. Now let's have a look. He's went for the sort of the half attempt at the bank, but more interested in actually just getting the 2 ball safe. And that's not a bad result. Yeah. Good night. Thanks for joining. See you later. And sorry to anybody where they were watching earlier on and the PC rebooted, but I think we've more or less solved that again by remembering to disable that other driver. And Larry getting nasty. That is a nasty one. He's got Tommy locked up behind the 4. And well, this is a hit and hope, this. Oh, well, he's got the hit. And he's got it safe. But he's going to be in trouble again in a second or two. Now, Larry looks as if he's trying to do something different here. Well, he's using those 2 balls up there as cover. Now, once again, Tommy can thin this 2 ball, go off the end rail, come down and down here somewhere, because you've got a chance of those balls being blockers. As long as he misses a 9, see, that was the danger. If he'd missed a 9, that cue ball would have been down more or less where we were talking about. But so that's why he had to get that 2 thinner than he did and avoid that 9 ball. So Larry's got a starter. But he's going to have to pull off another good one here if he's going to cut this 3 into the left middle. Now what's he doing? think it's the thin cut into the left middle. Well, that 9 ball is proving a problem. It's getting in the way. Well, Larry's still got the cut on the 4. But the other problem now has been created by that 9 ball running round the table onto the 6. And although Larry's potted the 4, he's got absolutely no shot here. I mean, even if he banks the 5, the best he's surely going to have is just a safety on this 6 and 9. I mean, the combo can be made, but it can be made if you get down here. It's going to be tough to make it if you finish anywhere up the table. Now, even when you look at that, it'd be much easier to make the combo from there. When you look at that, if he thin cuts the 6, it's only going to go to the rail, that 9. It's not going to in the pocket. He could use the 9 just as a stopper and get the cue ball back up the table. Well, he's managed to dig out the combo because that was not dead set. But it's gone in. And it doesn't matter how it goes in. What's more important for Larry is he's off the mark. Still trailing by 3. He has the break. The 3 ball goes in the break. And he's got a shot in the 1. But there are problems ahead again. The 6 ball and 7 ball are tied up. Now he's going to have a shot in the 2. He's bound to break these right now and guarantee he should still have a shot in the 2. And I think he's been unlucky again. That is unlucky. He's going to have to jump this to get the edge of that 2 to cut it. And as long as it comes out from that 5, he'll have a shot in the 4. And now that's still unlucky though, because even if he pots the 4 and gets to the 5, we can see that the 6 and the 7 are still locked up. Now, what's he going to be able to do here? Not an awful lot. I mean, you could try. You can pot the 5. The potting angle is that to there. So if he played it with a lot of right inside English, cue ball's going to go at the rail. It's going to come back some way, but I don't think it would be anywhere near good to try and even get a break. The angle will just, that's like trying to change the laws of physics to even hope you would get a split doing that. But Larry's played the sensible shot in trying to get distance, but Tommy has a good reverse bank on here. But of course Tommy has to get all these remaining balls because his 5 ball has gone. But well, in the end he's tried to tuck the cue ball away behind the 7. That was asking an awful lot. And well, it's a gift for Larry. He should be able to take this out. Oh, he's gone dead straight in the 7. So, a straight draw up the table. Has he got there? Yes, he has. Oh, just a drop in if he wants. Leave the 9 long. Not to any risks. So it's going to be 2 in a row for Larry. Still trailing by 2. With the break in rack number 7. No ball in the break and no shot for Tommy the Welder. Is he trying to play that through the gap? I'd be just... I don't know why. I mean... Oh, he's chose the push now. He's got a push out. Well, he's going to be in bother again. Larry will just feather the edge of that with a wee bit of a left if he wants. He doesn't even need the left. Just comes off and left it straight. And the other thing is, Tommy the Welder's not got the angle off the end rail. He could maybe spin in behind the 7. It's sort of in the way, but I think he can get it behind the 7. He's not even looking at it. He's looking to try and kick it in long. Well, it's not safe, but maybe the best Larry's going to get out of this is a 2-8 combo, which isn't set either. Well, that's one benefit. Larry's knocked in the 5 ball, so that takes out the extra money ball, which is a benefit to Larry. It means it's harder work for Tommy the Welder to win this rack. So the combo is played, the double kiss in the 2, holds it to the rail. A little draw up into the table for the 3. And a nice angle on the 3 to come off the side rail and up and across to the right. Oh, Larry's played the big stun. I would have played it the other way and come off the left side rail and punched across to the right. But Larry has left nothing on here much for Tommy. It's a tough 3 ball, whatever he's going to do with it. Could cut it long, but it's very thin into the bottom right. Yeah, that's just, again, just asking too much. He had an option of a safety there, but didn't even consider it. You've just got to play that percentage shot sometimes. And Larry now with a chance to get back within 1. We sent it into the middle pocket jaw. And Tommy the Welder has a shot on this 6. And he's just got to pot this pocket weight and not let the cue ball escape, because he'll still have a shot in the 7 into the same pocket if he plays this right. Oh, has he got away with it? I don't think he has. And Larry can just get there. And don't forget, these guys have been either playing in this tournament or sitting out waiting on a match for now 3.5 hours. Started at 7 PM GMT and we're now at 10:30. And Larry is going to win his 3rd rack in a row. And we're now into rack number 8. Larry's broke off. The 6 ball has gone, and I am going to take a bathroom break. Be back in a couple of minutes. Well, this is looking very likely that it's going to be 5 racks in a row for Larry. As long as he can drop down beside that 8, which he's pretty much done. So Larry, from 4-0 down, is now 5-4 in front. So Tommy the Welder with it all to do now to stay in touch in this match. Race to 9. Tommy the Welder getting the 5 ball as his extra money ball. Locked out in the 2. An easy kick, but just a kick and hope again. Hope you get lucky. Well, if it had hit that 5 ball, it might have went to the end rail. And Larry's going to be Chinese snookered over the 9, but easy enough to drop this 2 in. But will he have a shot in the 3? If he plays it just dead weight and drops it in, he can certainly get the 3 into the middle. I don't know whether he can. Well, it was easier to play the safety than it was to go for the pot. So Larry has got Tommy stuck behind the but I'll say that again, behind the 6, but easy enough to jump over that. He didn't get it tight enough. Well, again, there's nothing left easy here for Larry. He's got another opportunity to play a half-decent safety shot here. He's got the distance. He's left nothing on for Tommy the Welder. Now there is a safety though, and the safety would be better been played from this side to push the 3 that way. Well, he's got the pace right on that one, but he could have, again, he could have gone for distance, but he's left it short. But Larry's locked up, well, tied up behind the 7. Again, not tight enough, so an easy enough jump. Now that needs to be, I don't know whether they can actually just get enough of that 3 without maybe helping it around the 6 slightly. It looks as if he's going to go rail first. Yeah, well, in the end he's actually kicked in behind the 3. How can Larry miss the 8 ball here? Yes, he's missed the 8. He could have done when running into the 9 full in the face, because now he's just gone out of line. He's still got the cut back, but the question is whether he can somehow get that cue ball back over behind the 5 from where he is now. And he's managed to get that part right, but once again, the 4 ball, it won't go in. And it's a gift for Tommy the Welder. because he only needs the 4 and then the 5 to tie the match back up, and that's the danger that Larry always has. If you make the mistake, you make the error at the wrong time like that, and the 4 ball very adjacent to the corner pocket, and likewise with the 5, it was just dead easy for Tommy the Welder to pinch the rack. So he now has broken off in rack number 11, and he's actually potted a 1 in the break. He's got a shot in the 2, and it's going to ask a lot for him to pot this 2 and somehow find a gap to get through onto that 3 ball off this shot. Well, he's managed to play that excellent. He's managed to stun it and miss the 7 and miss the 5, and he's lying plumb on the 3. And can he get enough angle off this 4? And he can. It's all about pace. He wants to just finish out here somewhere, and he'll leave himself the pot in the 5. Oh, what's he trying to do? I don't know whether he saw that shot at all. He had plenty of room to get up here and pot the 5. He's tried to somehow leave a shot in the middle pocket. Well, this is not easy, but it's not what I would have played. Yeah, again, it's just leaving yourself far too much to do when there was a shot on. And I think that's one that's got away there for Tommy the Welder. I honestly do. If he'd played the right shot, he would have had room to play that cut in the 5. And meanwhile, Larry's missed his attempt at the 5. And this time, surely Tommy will put this one away. And in goes the 5. And so it's 2 racks in a row that takes Tommy the Welder back into the lead by 6 racks to 5. Well, now we have a dangerous situation with that 2 and 9. It's not set, I don't think, but oh, it's pretty much set when you look at it from there. And Larry's got the thin cut and then the 2-9 combo for a quick rack, and that has landed in his lap very handily. That saves any messing about. A simple 2-9 combo, and it's back all square. So Larry this time into rack number 13, breaks off, something's gone down, the 4 ball has gone, he has a shot in the 1 and the 2, it's going to be a 3-7 combo to follow. And right over to this left rail is where he wants to be. And the only thing that can go wrong here is the 3 ball escapes and ends up nowhere. And Larry's managed to get the pace to get the cue ball up the table. And this is still a tough ask to get this run out because the 8 and 9 are so close together. And it has to be a good shot to get on that 8. And Larry's hooked himself on the 5. Played the jump, got the pot, got a nice angle on the 6 to drop over to the right hand side of this 8 ball. Somewhere down here. Well, that was not as planned. He has left himself a thin cut on the 8. And if he drags it in and holds the cue ball, he'll have the 9 ball into the same pocket. And he's not quite got there. It's a little testy one. With this to go back into the lead. And in it goes. Well, Larry's making life difficult for himself, but he's got it done. Gets back into the lead with the break. And that was a 6 ball that's gone in the middle. Something else went. Again, the 4 ball and the 6 have gone. Once again, no shot in the 1, but a good chance of a decent safety. Well, he went for the bank, but that 9 ball was always going to be a problem if he hit it into it like that, because it then prevented it from being the double bank. Well, this time Larry's not left anything easy for Tommy. Same thing for Tommy here. He's got a good chance of a safety. You can play the shot off the end rail, send the 1 ball over there and leave the cue ball somewhere in there. Well, he's went all out for the cut. And he's got the cut. He's got some sort of a shot in the 2. But will he be able to get a shot in this 3 even if he pots this? Cue ball's got to miss the 9 ball. He's missed the 9. He squirted up behind the 3. How does that look for a roll into the middle pocket? Needs to hit this though. He's got to bring that cue ball off the rail and out for the 5. Needs to do that for the money ball. Can't just be rolling this in gentle. Had to go all out to get the 3 and get the cue ball across. And that's been his undoing. It was a tough shot, but it's the one that he had to play. You just cannot go half measures. He played the right shot to get there. It was a tight angle. And if you don't get it sweet and pure, it's going to rattle off the jaws and out at that pace. And is this the rack that's going to be the undoing of Tommy the Welder after having the 4-0 lead? Larry could be going to the hill, having been 4-0 behind. And we are 3 minutes and, oh sorry, not 3 minutes, 3 hours and 50 minutes that we've been going in this tonight. And Larry has hung the 9. Now, did he see the winning line there? And is fatigue taking its toll? Because it's back all square with that gift for Tommy the Welder. Into rack number 15. The break off from Tommy is dry. There's a shot in the 1. Back across for the long 2 down the rail, the 8 and 9. Well, the 9 is blocking the 8 ball, so it's got nowhere to go. And Larry trying to break the 8 and 9 up. He's actually made it slightly worse. They're obviously not set for a combo. Now, is he going to be able to get some sort of shot that's going to split that 8 and 9? And he's got the shot, he's got the angle. Is he going to get that wee bit of luck that you need when you play the breakout shot? Because you just don't know where the balls are going to end up. Well, Larry's playing position. He's going to have to play the cut then. He's going to have to cut that 8 that way to make the potting angle onto the 9, and it's not as easy as it looks. But he's managed to get there. That was not as simple as it looked. But this time, it does take him to within 1. He now leads by 8 racks to 7. He's broke off, and another one with nothing doing. And Tommy the Welder has a shot on the 1. Where's the cue ball? Well, he's hung up, and he's got no shot on the 2 because that is too far past the middle pocket halfway point, and at that angle to make any cut on it where it's going to go in. He's just sending it to the side rail. And that is a good shot. He's got the cover. Now, is this... It's got every possibility that this could be another match that's going to go all the way. And Tommy the Welder has got the 2, the 3, the 4... and the 5 to pot. They're not going to be easy, especially from this one at distance, the 3 ball, but he should be on the 4 if he plays this at the right pace. Anywhere over on that left hand side. Well, if it had missed that 5, it would have been perfect. He's still got a shot, but it's a bit more difficult because it's offline. It's not as straight as it would have been had he missed the 5. And in goes the 4. Now the pace in the cue ball is too much, and it's got to be the bank. Either the single bank or the double will do into the middle pockets. But he's aiming for the 1 in the right first time round. And he's got... Oh, is he going to get it back across? It's not going to get there. Well, Larry now has his chance to win the match in tonight's tournament. He can miss the 9 ball, he can just skim past it. Well, he's hit it, and that was risky. That could have went badly wrong, but he's got a lucky break. The 9 ball could have come out there and just blocked off the cue ball. And now Larry's in perfect position behind that 7 to pot it and drop onto the 8 ball. And likewise, when he pots the 8 ball, he can drop in behind the 9 either into the same pocket as the 8 or just leave the 9 long, whichever he's comfortable with. I think he's going to be just dropping behind it at that angle. He's too straight. So Larry is going to win tonight's final by 9 racks to 7. And we'll have a final look at the bracket and see where the money went. So the semi-finalists win $270 and $200 V dollars respectively. The runner-up, who is Tommy the Welder, gets 405 V dollars, and Larry gets 805. And with that, folks, I am going to bed. I am past my bedtime by more than an hour. I'm up at 4 o'clock. I will bid you good night. Thanks for watching. Sorry about the break in transmission early on, and we will see you again soon, no doubt.